Next, sorry, we're going to go to Sister Michaela. Michaela, sorry, I always try to pronounce your name in Spanish. Michaela. No, sorry. Is the founder of Barakah Beauty Collective, and I love bringing an innovative business model focused on Muslim women and creating a Muslim-only space. One of the things we're also very interested in is Muslim wellness and how we look at wellness, and the organizations that have grown beyond the masajid to support Muslim communities that range from things like wasit to coffee shops. And I think Barakah Beauty Collective is one of the only spaces like this in the United States, and of course it happens in the world. It's called the hammam and these other things, right? But mashallah. Anyway, tell us about your work and your journey to your company.
Salam, everybody. I usually like to start with first asking, who has heard of Barakah Beauty? I want you guys to raise your hands. Okay. I was going to secondly ask who's actually come, and if anybody raises their hand on that side other than my husband, then they're not telling the truth anyway. So how did Barakah Beauty come to be? So I think first, for those of you who don't know who I am, I became Muslim in 1999. So when I was 5, no, that's a bad joke, no. Don't blow my cover here, ladies. I spent over 20 years working in the corporate space. I worked in sales, client services, marketing, in high tech, in market research, in human capital, in consulting. And in 2020, I got fired from my job. And I had a modest fashion brand, which I still have, and inshallah, Dustin will put it on the list next year. That brand grew during COVID for a variety of reasons. I am a maker, I'm an artist. That's the heart of who I am as a person. And because of that, I created something. It made my brand kind of go viral. And then when I got fired from my job, I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't be in this performative work environment. I am, and I always tell people, because I worked in the diversity, equity, inclusion space, if me, the white lady in a hijab, is your diversity hire, you have a problem, okay? And I was that person for a long time for people, right? She's like shaking her head. So if I'm on the receiving end of microaggressions every single day, God bless everybody else, right? My sisters in hijab, the ladies of color here. So I left that space, and part of it was having a supportive network, a very supportive husband who's here right now, mashallah. Everyone say ameen and make dua for him. I decided I could not go back to that work environment. It was like soul crushing, and I think some ladies probably here understand that, whether you're in the corporate space or not. So I focused all of my energy on my modest fashion brand for about 1.5 years after that. Because of the growth of the brand, I thought, you know what, I need a space. I can't have my creative space, my production space, my backstock, blah, blah, blah at home. So I found a space in Northgate. It's about 3 blocks from the Northgate Masjid, for those of you who are familiar with Northgate. It's like kind of the OG, been there forever after the Cham community masjid. And I thought, I want to rent a space, but I can't afford to rent a space by myself. Even though my brand, had far reached the 6-figure mark in sales for that year, I was like, I still can't afford it. It's so expensive. But what if I bring all these other Muslim women into a space and we have different businesses? I might have the modest fashion brand, and I bring in beauty, and I bring in wellness. And of course, for those of us who wear hijab, what is the one thing that we're always struggling with? It's where to get our freaking haircut. Right? So it's either an uncomfortable conversation with like a Jean Juarez, or you get that space and then you're relegated to the janitorial closet, right? And they don't give you a discount for that. So I thought, okay, who does hair out there? And then we brought in Noura Rabi, brought in Asia, who's not here tonight either, who does massage, acupuncture, hijama cupping, and she's a nurse practitioner midwife as well. And then it just kind of escalated from there. It kind of snowballed. Like we have someone that does facials. And because of that collective space, which like to what Dustin was saying, it's become a third space for Muslims, because it's not just about buying and selling or getting services, although it's a beautiful space. I mean, women know, like when you get together, it's kind of like that barbershop vibe, but just put hijabs on everybody, and we have fun. And to that accord, a lot of what I do is about connecting with other Muslim women, amplifying what they're doing, even if it might be in what someone would deem as a competitive space. So if someone else has a modest fashion brand, ahlan wa sahlan, they can come. right? It's not about kind of creating that. That's a very, in my opinion, a very colonized way of looking at things. If we believe the rizq min Allah, that provision is from Allah, we should not be competitive. We should be collaborative. I don't care what you're buying and selling. Two people doing halal tacos, two people doing a Barakah Beauty, three, whatever. So to that accord, that's why, one of the reasons, other than her food is delicious, tomorrow in Barakah Beauty, ladies only, sorry, we're doing a halal taco social. So we did one last month. We're doing it this month. This is the last one until after Ramadan. And obviously, people want to eat halal tacos. They want to have fun. We want to, let our hair down, literally and figuratively. But besides that, it's the opportunity where Barakah Beauty and all of the entrepreneurs and all of our customer base can support her business. That's really what Barakah Beauty is about, is that entrepreneurial part, and also creating a third space. So what's interesting is when you start to kind of expand your mind a little bit around these ideas, is that things come in. So we do iftars every Friday now. We've been doing those for 2 years. This will be our 3rd year. It has become a third space. We have halaqah. Like, we literally have halaqah every other Friday. Tonight is book club. We have a book club meeting. And it's just expanding because sisters come, and I invite anybody here who has an idea. They're like, hey, Michaela, can we do this event? I was like, okay, if you can organize it, I have the space, ahlan wa sahlan. And people might think, people usually ask me, oh, are you gonna charge me? I was like, well, if it's open to the community, no. If it's your private engagement party, yeah, probably. But I want to increase foot traffic, I wanna increase visibility, I wanna create a space where Muslim women feel safe. And it's not a space, just to correct Dustin, because I wanna make sure this is really clear, it's not a space just for Muslim women, it's a space just for women. But my focus is on accommodating Muslim women, and I will never pivot from that. So I tell people, if you understand that the focus is Muslim women, and you're a woman, and that this is our space, ahlan wa sahlan. If you're a Karen, you probably don't want to be here, because I will call you out. And that's what I tell everybody. What's amazing about it, and I'll end on this note, is that this kind of a space where it's by women for women, we know what that looks like. It's not a lot of the masajid, frankly, unfortunately. We have people, I had 4 new Muslims come in yesterday to Barakah Beauty. Why? Because they're shopping, and what we just opened is our free community closet. So if you have donations you want to bring to the Modest Closet, or if you are a new Muslim or a sister who's struggling, I don't police it, I don't do anything like that. You say you need help, yalla, come in, take what you need. Again, I don't regulate that. We had 4 Muslim women come in yesterday who are brand new Muslims, like 3 months in, and they took things from the closet. SubhanAllah, a month ago, less than a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, this is the story that I wanted to end on. I had a lady come in, middle-aged white woman, and like everybody, we greet them because we don't know what their background is. How can we help you? And she said, I came to buy a kufiya and take my shahada. And that's not the masjid. So it's women who are either exploring the faith, they feel safe in Barakah Beauty, or frankly, it's people from our community who, because of trauma and other issues, have stepped away from Islam, and they come into Barakah Beauty because we will not judge them. We are calling people to Allah, and the second, whatever else behind, it's not my business, Yani. You wear the hijab, you do, I don't care about that stuff. That's between you and Allah. That's our approach, and that's why it calls people to our space, mashallah. So it's really a social enterprise. It's a little bit of everything. It's an ecosystem. There's buying and selling, there's beauty, there's events, there's halaqah, there's book club. There's like literally a little bit of everything to address all the things that Muslim women really want. So that's why Dustin said that there's nothing else like that out there in the States, frankly. So, and then sign up for the Halal Taco Social. Last minute registrations, right? For tomorrow, yeah.